up this week on O'Reilly Auto Parts Motor Mania. Thunder by the river, pulling trucks and pulling tractors. Rock and roll, baby, coming at you now.
When you think of pulling, you think of the Midwest. When you think about four-wheel drive truck pulling, you think about running with the Outlaws. This is Thunder by the River in Wisner, Nebraska. It's the Beef Elite Nationals. It's a part of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Thunder in the Dirt Series. Hi, everybody. I'm Doc Riley, and welcome to Wisner, Nebraska. Right back over my shoulder is the Elkhorn River. That's the river. The Thunder, well, it takes place right over Terry's shoulder. He's the camera guy right back over there. We'll get to that in just a second. But this is all about four-wheel drive truck pulling, and this is going to be big here. A ton of the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pullers have come to Wisner, Nebraska, right here at Wisner Riverside Park. Now, this is a campground that's been turned into a purpose-built pulling facility. In the past 3 years, this event has mushroomed into one pull that everyone that drives a four-wheel drive truck wants to win. Additionally, we'll show you some tractors here a little bit later on in this half hour of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Motor Mania. But right now, let's meet the rest of our broadcast team. Let's go to the booth and Mr. Ted Jones.
All right, thank you very much, Doc Riley. Joining me in the booth, our expert analyst, Claude Wood, and our first puller coming up out of Thompson, Missouri. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the defending champion, Terry Hagedorn.
And Ted, what a great facility. 3 years old, this track in Wisner. This is known as a horsepower track. And the guys, if they've done their homework, they better have a low gear to get that horsepower to the ground.
Now, most all pulling tracks are about 30 feet wide and 300 feet long. The idea is to go 300 feet of full pull. Hagedorn, ladies and gentlemen, is going well beyond it, 318 feet. Boy, what a mark to set. Let's take another look at that pull right now, Claude.
As he starts out, you can see he spools it up. You want to start out very slow, getting the tire speed built up as you go along. Now, we did point out this is a new track. Underground, there's a watering system, very high-tech here at Wisner, and he has taken it right straight down the middle.
Not weaving either direction, all four tires pulling equally. That's what you want. Finally, he'll stall it out where Doc Riley was waiting.
Terry, you make it look easy, man. Over all these years, just your thoughts on the track and that pass.
Well, it's a little tough taking off. The track's kind of spongy there, but I think it's a pretty decent run for track conditions. I thought I better take it. So
one of those tough things in the afternoon with 4x4 pulling, isn't it?
Yeah, if I had to do anything over again, I probably would have dropped a little bit. It didn't turn quite the RPM I wanted, but
that's hard to believe out of high gear.
Well, sometimes we miss the gear a little bit, but not too bad.
Here comes the secret weapon Ford. This is Fred Blue, ladies and gentlemen.
And his son Cory will pull later in the class. Ted, let's point out right here in the beginning, daytime pull, the track will probably not get better.
289 feet, so it shows that Terry Hagedorn's pull was not a fluke indeed. Next up will be Agent Orange. We go from Fred Blue to Agent Orange out of Iowa. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Tom Byers. There you see him putting on his safety collar.
And he was 6th in points last year, looking for a good year this year. By the way, the pullers must use gas or they can use alcohol, no turbos or no superchargers.
Naturally aspirated these trucks are. Byers looks like he's on a good pull. Suddenly stalls out way short. 292 feet. Remember, the mark to beat is 318 feet. Now, they do not have a pull-off in this particular class. They have what's called a floating finish line. That means the finish line to 300 feet unless you take it further like Terry Hagedorn did. Charlie Miller, the Foxy Lady Chevy, will be next.
And you can see him as his tires bite down into the dirt. A good pull right here.
Charlie finished 3rd in outlaw points last year, 297 feet. That's good enough for 2nd place, but nobody really threatening to take over the lead from Terry Hagedorn, unless this guy can do it. This guy out of Bolivar, Missouri is Dave Bamber.
And a minute ago, we mentioned the tires really biting down into the surface right there. The drivers are allowed to cut or trim those tires any way they want to.
Well, Bamber digging in good. Let's see if he can do a much better job. You've got to get up over 300 feet to even be competitive. Look at that! Just over 300 feet, Dave Bamber picks up second place. Richard Clark will be next right now with his Redline Ford.
And Richard was top 10 in the points for last year. So he is counting on a lot of experience from previous years, but keep in mind, this is a brand new track, so the drivers are still adjusting to it.
Wow, Hagedorn is starting to sweat now because look at that, 311 feet for Richard Clark. I think the track may be getting a little bit better as we take a look at Joe Merklin, the Bound for Glory Ford out of Arnold, Missouri.
Listen to the RPMs come up, and you'll notice he positioned himself right in the middle of the track. Now, within the bounds, you have the right to choose exactly where on the track you want to go. Weaving a little bit right there, Ted.
New leader, 322 feet. Terry Hagedorn moves into second place. That's worth another look right now.
And he is going straight and true right down the track. And our hats off to the officials who have kept this track and are keeping it in such great shape today.
Hey, that's the way to do it. Put about 9 feet on the class. What's the secret there?
Well, I'm not sure. Maybe just Ford Hemi, possibly.
That may be it, huh? Talk a little bit about this track.
I don't really know much about it. I mean, it seems like it's sandy, but it's taking power. I didn't figure we would do that, surely, since we was later in the class, but it worked, so I'm taking her.
I would say so. There's an awful lot of good people in this class, isn't there?
There sure is. This is a very tough class. I mean, any truck at any time can take it. So
right now, you're sitting number one.
That's great. Thanks. I appreciate it.
This edition of O'Reilly Auto Parts Motor Mania brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, home of the professional parts people, and by Low Car Performance Products, quality, plain and simple, and by Max Brake, the new revolution in brake controls. We'll be back after this. Back on O'Reilly Auto Parts Motor Mania, you're watching Thunder by the River, the Beefsteak Super Nationals from Wisner Riverside Park, Wisner, Nebraska. Ted Jones, Claude Wood, Mike Side with you. Doc Riley's down at the finish line as we take a look at Cory Blue, the ultimate weapon. We're right in the middle of the truck category.
And Cory, runner-up in outlaw points last year. Now, earlier in the program today, you saw his dad, Fred, pull at 289 feet. So Cory is hoping for some bragging rights when they go back home tonight.
Current leader Joe Merklin has set the mark to beat at 322 feet. Cory Blue is blowing right past it. Look at this, 337 feet. Wow, they're going to run out of track pretty soon.
Well, sometimes when you uncork the ultimate weapon, it all comes out for the right thing, man. Congratulations, a nice pass.
Yeah, thank you. I thought we wouldn't have a chance. I thought Terry took it out there and ran away with it after I saw what my dad did, but the old Ford picked up and ran. The old Blue Performance Ford did its job.
And this is just getting crazy right now. I don't know who's going to pull much further. Dustin Ritter would like to do it with the Stroker Ford out of Hermann, Missouri.
And you know, at the first of the show, I said the track would get worse as the day goes on. Boy, am I eating my words right here. But this, remember, is a horsepower track. Watch those tires dig in.
And they have plenty of horsepower, 316 feet, nothing to yell about. We were getting excited. Nobody early in the show could break 300 feet. Now, all of a sudden, over 300 is becoming the norm. Kim Williams, lost in the 50s, gorgeous 50s model old Chevrolet truck out of New Virginia, Iowa.
You know, Ted, I've never ceased to be amazed at the paint jobs and the pride that these guys put in their vehicles. I mean, he could take this thing to a car or truck show somewhere.
Indeed he could, Claude Wood. Good shot right there, the beautiful Lost in the 50s truck, and he turns in a respectable pull, 303 feet. Well, we have one more competitor remaining right now in the four-wheel drive truck category, and that will be Pete Matt. Right there he is in the Undertaker Chevrolet out of St. Joseph, Missouri.
And you know, Ted, these guys take a lot of pride in their vehicle. You notice the big Chevy bow tie in the back window back there? I mean, these are loyal drivers.
Good effort being turned in by Pete, but not enough to take first place, 305 feet. Our winner will be Cory Blue. Doc Riley is with him right now.
It held up. A nice pass. Just your thoughts on winning here at Wisner and Thunder by the River.
Well, I don't know. I was kind of glad that the track held together. I want to thank my dad. I want to thank Wisner, Nebraska for having us here. I want to thank O'Reilly Outlaw Association for actually having a good organization with a ton of hooks that all these four-wheel drive trucks can make, and it just really held together. I'm glad the old Blue Performance Ford could do its job.
You know, it's one of these things where it's an afternoon, and typically that's not always good for four-wheel drive truck pulling. It gets a little dry.
Yeah, it does. The numbers usually favor the earlier trucks, and it goes away. But I think the guys here at Wisner did a good job with getting the track built, and I think it held up.
It really did. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And our congratulations go out to our winner, Cory Blue, and all of the guys who did so well. Here's the top 7. You can see Richard Clark, not a shameful performance at 311 feet. We'll take a break. When we come back, the Smokin' Tractors stay with us. You're tuned in to O'Reilly Auto Parts Motor Mania this week. Thunder by the River, the beautiful Elkhorn River right there, and we're thundering right beside it. We just finished up the 4x4 truck class. Now we're ready to go pulling with tractors, beginning with Jeremy Paulson right here.
And this is the 6,000-pound class. As a matter of fact, they're the lightest class in tractor pulling, 505 cubic inch engines, and it can be diesel or alcohol.
Well, that is obviously diesel. Look at that big plume of black smoke coming out of that tractor right there. He'll set the mark to beat at 247.11 feet. I'm sure he's not happy with that. How about it, Doc?
Hey, Jeremy, pretty good looking pull right there, 247.11. Your thoughts on that trip?
Not too bad a pass. We've been struggling a little bit with it, but not too bad. We'll take it for today. Maybe I can come back if they have a restart.
Hopefully so. I don't think that's going to hold, and I'll bet you Ricky Jones, the Hookin' Harvester. It's an international harvester. You know, they get all excited about colors in tractor pulling. Red's international harvester, of course. Green is John Deere, blue is Ford, and so forth.
And all of these tractors are turbocharged. For that reason, look for a slow start off the starting line, because what he's doing is spooling up that turbo, building the boost, and building the horsepower. How did it work out right here?
Well, it worked out good, Claude. Ricky Jones takes the lead right here, 263 feet, but I don't think that'll hold. So we'll turn things green right now with Clem Schlueter, the Grand River Deere.
And this is a John Deere 4055. Clem is the 2-time Puller of the Year and 3-time Hooker of the Year. Now, what does that mean? That means he has gone to more events, hooked up to the sled 3 times more than anybody else. Ted, that's a lot of experience.
Gorgeous chrome wheels. These guys take a lot of pride in their tractors. Let's see what he can do. He takes the lead, 273 feet. They're kind of creeping up on it. Let's check in with Doc.
Clem, it looked like when you came off the line, it looked like it stuttered a little bit. What was that all about?
Actually, my water's coming on a little bit too quick is what the problem is. I've got to almost let on the clutch a little bit to make it light, and we've been trying to get it adjusted, but it's not hurting it too much.
That's a pretty nice looking pass. What's the track like?
It's good. The track's better tonight than it was last night. Good.
All right, things are turning red again, ladies and gentlemen. This is John Hoffman, the Red Power International Harvester out of Dunlap, Iowa. Good look right there, John. Notice the roll cage for safety that they make and build around these tractors, because they put out a lot of horsepower. They actually can flip over, Claude.
They can. That is so much horsepower to the ground. And I mentioned the slow start. Whoa, starting to bounce just a little bit right there, but so far it's okay. Uh-oh, the track is taking him right.
That means he has to pull on the brake. They steer with the brakes when those front tires are in the air like that. 274 feet, barely takes the lead. They call it the sport of inches. Up next, the competitor that has been called the father of the light superstock class, ladies and gentlemen, meet Ivan Carroll.
And this should be a good run for Ivan as he starts to slowly spool it up, building the horsepower. It's tempting to just mash down all of a sudden on the throttle, but you can't do that in tractor pulling.
If you're wondering about a white tractor, you haven't seen this much before, well, it's an import tractor called a Cockshut 670. 285 feet. They keep creeping up on that 300-foot mark. Let's take one more look at this cockshut tractor.
Now watch this run, Ted. This guy, he is the leader, but he is all over the track. He started far left on the screen. Now he's coming over toward the center. He will do almost an S-shaped pattern in just a minute and then go back left again.
Doc Riley was waiting for him at the finish line.
Ivan, looked like a pretty good pass right there. Tell me about that track.
Well, it's a pretty good track. It was good last night. Tough track. A little tougher than sometimes, but we like it.
Hey, you've been down a track a number of times over your career. What's it like pulling here in Nebraska at Wisner?
It's a good pull. I really like it. Aim to come back.
Hey, you got the lead in the class right now. You think that's going to stick?
Well, there's one or two could beat me.
And we'll find out about those one or two that could beat him. More smoke coming up after the break. Stay tuned. This edition of O'Reilly Auto Parts Motor Mania brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, home of the professional parts people, and by United Specialties, home of the trendsetter, and by Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower. Back at Thunder by the River, the Beef State Super Nationals from Wisner, Nebraska. Ted Jones, Claude Wood, Mike Side with you. We're in the middle of the Super Stock 6,000-pound category. Things are ready to turn green right now. This is Chuck Schlueter, and you're on board with the Barn Buddy.
And this is a new ride for Chuck this year, Ted. He's still working some bugs out, so let's call this a test and tune session, see how it goes.
You can begin to see what a ride that driver gets right down there waiting on the 300-foot mark, 291.10 feet, ladies and gentlemen. It's the new leader.
And there you see the boost come up, that black diesel smoke coming out as he starts. He's pretty much in the center of the track, going left a little bit. And Ted mentioned earlier, each time you have to use the brakes to steer, you lose a little ground.
Well, Chuck, with the new tractor, it seems like it's working out perfect.
We've really been getting along good. We're kind of getting it ironed out, so we've been having a lot of fun.
You must have a lot of fun. 291.10 leads the class.
Yes, well, there's a lot of toughies back here yet, though, but I think it'll hold up, I hope.
What's the starting line like? Pretty good?
Oh, it's a little hard, but we're getting hold of it pretty good, just off the line. So, good track.
Well, not far away from 300 feet right now. Cory Snider, the nasty one, Oliver, out of Wisconsin, would like to be the guy to hit 300 feet, Claude.
And this tractor is green. You notice it's a darker green than the John Deere. The Oliver, of course, is an older vintage tractor. It's good to see guys bring these out.
Notice the weights on the front right there. Well, he's not going to get it done. Falls way short at 257 feet. So someone else will get another try right now, and that someone else will be this guy, Alan Moore, out of Marengo, Iowa. He calls his tractor the Malfunction Junction.
Hey, you know, Ted, how these guys come up with these names, I don't know. It tells me he's had some problems with this tractor before. Maybe he doesn't ever know what it's going to do.
On a good run, wheels suspended in the air. That's just the way you want to do it. Perfect run. Unfortunately, not enough horsepower. He was really hooked up to the track, too. Well, we'll move on now to International Harvester. This is the Red Ink Glenn Freese. This is an alcohol-powered tractor.
And Glenn right now is the reigning points champ. So on this run, let's look for a lot of distance for him. Look at those big tires start to dig into that hard track.
Suspending those front tires right in the air. That's just how you want to do it. Getting just a little bit high. Now he has to hit the brake. That's going to cause him to still take the lead. 312 feet. Can you imagine if he hadn't had to hit the brake right there with that tractor drifting off to one side? What it would have been. Take another look at it, Claude.
Well, we said at the first of the show, this is a horsepower track. And at a time like this, when he stomped her down, he really had the horsepower to continue on. He's really out of control right there and in danger of going out of bounds. Look, what a rough ride.
And that would have negated the run, so he did the right thing. Doc Riley's waiting on him right now.
Well, that was one wild ride. Tell me about that pass.
Well, it hooked up pretty good there. You know, we were kind of set on kill. We wanted to get him today.
You did. It looked like you were kind of one-wheeling back and forth towards the top end a little bit.
Yeah, the light class will do that. You know, these light tractors, they just don't have enough weight on them. And
it'd get a little crazy.
You know, you're way out the gate right now, 3:12.08. You think that's going to hold?
Boy, I hope so. There's some tough ones back there yet, but keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's the most impressive pull I've seen so far in this class. Here comes Arnold Pomagel. He calls it Poe's Playmate. It's a Case 1070 out of Crete, Nebraska.
And look at those flames. What a nice paint job on the side of that tractor. Not only a lot of imagination. Whoa, there's the way you want to really start out down the center of the track.
Got those front wheels suspended perfectly. Now, if he doesn't have to hit the brakes, well, he just ran out of horsepower, 275 feet for Arnold, so that won't get the job done. One more pull remaining. Last guy to do it. Here's Big Green's best shot. John Deere on the line. Rob Cole, the Buckwild John Deere out of Lincoln, Missouri.
You heard him spooling up the turbo, building up the horsepower. He's looking for that black smoke to come up, and he's looking at all different sides of the track. He's all over the place.
Well, that won't take the win. Doc is with our winner right now.
Well, Glenn, congratulations. In a class that's in the Midwest, it's one of those tough ones. You came out on top.
Yeah, it really felt good, Doc. It was a nice day. Had my family along, and thank the Lord, everything worked fine.
Do we have some future pullers here, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. Lewis has got the edge. He's 13, so a couple more years.
That's got to feel pretty good having your dad win here in Wisner.
Yeah.
Do you want to get behind a 6 Super one of these days?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your job during these polls?
Just helping him get ready to go. Just helping him go a lot.
It's an awful lot of work behind the scenes, isn't there?
Yes, there is, and it's just not me too. It's my crew: Rob Yonko, Steve Stramer. I've got a lot of guys that help me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, as you can see, it is a family sport indeed. Do it in the dirt. Here's Glenn Freese with that winning run. Take a look at it. What a great job that he did, especially handling this tractor at the end of the run. It got just a little tricky right there. But he hung on 312 feet to take the win. Let's take a look at all of our top 7 finishers right here, from Glenn Freese all the way down to Clem Schlueter. If you'd like more information on outlaw pulling, check out their website. To obtain a copy of this program, go to masterstv.com. Next week, more B-State Nationals. We'll see you then. So long, everyone.